Hey YouTube, Peterbilt Knife Guy. Today I'm going to be talking about my most recent purchase. It's this Old Hickory, made by Ontario Knife Company, made in the USA. It's 1075 carbon steel. They swapped over from 1095 a while ago, but I still feel it's plenty adequate for what they're selling as a kitchen knife. I believe it's an 1/8 inch thick, maybe even just a little less. Let's check it actually. Should have done my research. Nope. They're less than 1/8. Like a 16th almost. Maybe just a hair over a 16th. Not that thick, but it's a kitchen knife. It's supposed to be flexible. It's actually pretty rigid for what it is, considering for how long the blade is. It has a, I believe, 8 inch blade. It's actually a little bit over, about 8 inches of cutting, 8 1/8 overall, 4 5/8 handle. It's kind of a narrower handle, but then again, it's meant to be a kitchen knife. If you compare it to this guy, you know, it's a much smaller handle, but very comfortable, so far at least. This was meant to be a slicing knife. That's what they call it. They call it an 8 inch slicing knife. I think it looks cool. I like how it has kind of a drop point and it starts way back here and thins out. It doesn't really drop too far below the edge of the handle, but enough. And it just kind of reminds me of like an old, kind of an old Bowie knife, with a real big clip on it. It's not sharpened. Of course, it'd be kind of cool to put like a 45-degree angle on that, but not gonna do it. My plans for this guy are to, I'm gonna remove these handles, and I don't know if you can tell, let's see here. So the handle tapers towards where you hold it. So up here, you're looking at right around just a hair under 1 inch. And back here, just a hair under 1.25 inches. What I'm planning on doing with this thing is, haven't figured out yet if I'm gonna cut this side down or cut this side up. But essentially I want to be able to slide a guard onto here, like an aluminum guard with like a little, I don't even know. It's not gonna be a straight guard. It's either gonna be an S-shaped guard, probably an S-shaped guard, or just flat on top and come back towards the hand a little bit on the bottom here. But I kind of want to make this into a little Bowie knife. It's not going to be heavy. It's not really a chopper. It's very light, but it does have some forward heft to it. I mean, not a lot, but I mean, it cuts something, and I guarantee you this thing is stabby. Surprisingly, for Ontario Knife Company, this thing came pretty damn sharp out of the box. You know, what's funny is for a $14 knife, they can sharpen it, but you know, you get yourself up into like the Ontario SP6, thing couldn't cut a warm cube of butter out of the box, but this thing for some reason actually was damn sharp. Was it where I want it sharp? No, but it actually cut one of my toilet paper tubes with just a little bit of light stropping. I stropped it on the green, stropped it on here, and you know, so technically I kind of sharpened it a little bit, but I mean, if anything, I just refined that edge. This now has my edge on it, which is like a semi-convex secondary edge. If you can see the way it like glints off there, it's not a flat secondary bevel, it's a convex one. And I did bring it back up a little bit, because it was kind of, it's pretty thin behind the edge here, so it didn't have to be like that, but I brought this back a little bit and a lot up here because it was thicker up here. But and now she's where I want it, right out to the tip. Very, very sharp. And yeah, it's a good knife. If you, I mean, just if you are into buying stuff and modifying it, or just new into getting in, new into modifying knives, picking up an old Ontario butcher knife or even a new one and doing mods on that is a great way to start. The steel is very forgiving. It's pretty decent steel. Let me compare it to this other one I got. Here we go. So this is my other Ontario Knife Company. I can't remember the name of this one, but I will put it in right there. This one actually comes with a sheath from Ontario Knife Company. Pretty cool. But the reason I was interested in this one is because of, if you look at it, they're the same blade stock, same handles, except for I modified mine on this one. It's just got a little bit more, well, it's got a lot more reach. And what about belly? At their thickest, this one's just a tad thicker. But this thing is, it turned out, I use this for camping and stuff like that. You can see, maybe you see the purplish color on there. Yeah, you can. That's from slicing tri-tips. And this thing has been fantastic. So my plan is, I'll make a guard for this one, and I'll make a leather sheath for it, and turn this into kind of little camp bowie. Not hard use, but for just around, if you're barbecuing and camping and, bear jumps out of the woods and you need to stab it, you got something. You get 8 inches into that guy. But yeah, I've just been thoroughly impressed with these newer Ontario 1075 knives that they've been coming out with. The Old Hickory series is just, you can't go wrong for the price. And if you have a little bit of know-how, you can turn something that looked like this into something that looked like this. I mean, here's how the handles come. This is what I did with it. That's actually leather dye that I stained it with. But yeah, I mean, it just, you can do a lot with these. Like I said, this one comes with this sheath. I did modify this sheath though. It didn't have much retention, and I didn't want to put a rivet in, so I drilled 4 holes around the stitches and give it a little bit more, retention. But until all that happens, because I have 1,000 projects ahead of it, I'm sticking it in the Ontario SB6 sheath, which actually, it fits. It just doesn't lock in. I mean, if I put a guard on here, I could use this sheath, I guess, but I hate Ontario knife sheaths with every fiber in my being. I mean, for the price you're paying for the knife, I get it, but throw them away. Buy something better. But anyways, so that's my opinions and review kind of on this Ontario 8-inch slicing knife. Fantastic, $14. Get it, do some mods. Let's see what you guys can do.